Yo, how's it bouncing, gang? I hope all of you are doing super great today. Welcome back to another video. Super excited to be bringing you guys the latest 2019 iPhone leaks and rumors today, along with first look at iOS 13 emojis. Some of these kind of blow my mind, get me a little bit excited for the update, so I want to talk about those a little bit later. So if you're excited for any of this, drop a like down below. Of course, hit subscribe so you don't miss out on anything else. But let's first off start with the 2019 iPhones because we've got some details that I gotta share with you. So if you've been following along with the 2019 iPhone game, the rumor cycle, as of course I have because I got nothing better to do. In all seriousness, we know so much about these. We're hearing that it could have a 14 megapixel camera on the back. Of this being what it looks like, we are rumored to have already seen the 2019 iPhones courtesy of OnLeaks. So this is apparently what at least one model is going to look like. Compare Raja also brought us this information. We're hearing the front-facing camera could go up to 12 megapixels. We're hearing the notch is going to get smaller. The phone in general is going to be redesigned. And we know all of this over 7 months ahead of when these phones are going to be coming out, which likely is going to be September of 2019. Today I want to jump into a new report from a site called Droid Shout. And I know, it's an Android rumors site, like why would they know anything about the iPhone? To be honest, I don't exactly know, but they share some details here that sound very realistic to me, and they're details that I want to bring forward and share with all of you as well, because I haven't seen that many other people talk about this. We've seen these images of the iPhone 11 that does show a smaller notch, and many sources have been reporting that for well over a year, that the highest end iPhones in 2019 were going to get a smaller or shrunken version of the notch, which is good. We've had the fat wide notch for about 2 years now. It is definitely time for an upgrade. That being said, some models in testing of the iPhone XR do have a smaller notch, so the sources are sort of split there whether or not the XR is going to get a smaller notch or if that smaller notch is going to be reserved for the most premium iPhones. What DroidShout says their source is confident about is the fact that a new color option is coming to the iPhone at XR. I remember a lot of you got super excited when we first heard that a wide variety of colors would be coming to the 6.1-inch iPhone in 2018. Apple's not exactly planning to expand it right now, but they're planning to remove one color and add another. Out of these colors, which one would you like to see Apple get rid of? But in 2019, we're said to be getting a new greenish variant. We don't have an exact shade, but knowing Apple, they're not going to go super bright, super flashy neon. I did, however, mock up these images of how an iPhone XR second gen version with a green tint could look. I sort of went with the St. Patrick's Day or college green color just because testing a number of different colors on the iPhone, I think a lime green would be also realistic. Like I could see Apple doing it like they did with the iPhone 5C, but to me, this looks much more similar to like a product green, if Apple would ever call anything that or make anything that shade. It's a little bit darker, a little bit more serious of a tone than like a bright, flashy lime green, and I think it actually turned out really well. If Apple adds green, I'll definitely be picking up that one in 2019 because I think this one looks pretty cool, but if they go for a lime variant, I'm just not sure if that's up my alley. Let me know what color you guys would want to see come to the iPhone XR. This is the only one that we're hearing about, but of course there's always the chance that Apple could be working on additional colors too. So those are the deets on the iPhone XR. We also get some more info on all of the 2019 iPhone models, and one of them here is that a new coating is apparently coming to the 2019 iPhones that is going to improve scratch resistance and also make it feel better when you actually hold it in your hand. Personally, I've never been one to have an issue with how my iPhone felt in my hand, but improved grip sounds cool. I'm excited to see if Apple would be using different materials. Maybe they steer away from aluminum on the XR and bring stainless steel there. I actually really like the way that the iPhone XS feels on the side. They did something with the anodized stainless steel on the XS, at least the gold one that I have right here, that made it feel physically different than the 10, and I like it. It still feels really good in my hand today, has a really nice grip, and I hope that Apple either keeps this or improves upon it again, making it less slippery or less likely to slip out of your hand. And of course, improved scratch resistance, that's always a major plus. Anytime your iPhone's going to be less likely to scratch is something that is good because there's a number of times that I've put my phone in my pocket and definitely forgot that my keys were also in that same pocket. Now, closing out DroidShout's report is a detail that I was really hoping they wouldn't sneak in here, like they could just ignore it. We could all forget about that this is what we're hearing, but they reiterate the fact that, like the Wall Street Journal initially reported a few weeks ago, the 2019 iPhone 11 Max, the XI Max, is going to be the only model to get the triple camera setup that is rumored that we've seen leaks for. I can't tell you how disappointing that is. Again, I don't want that to be the case, but this is the third or fourth source now independently reporting that only one 2019 iPhone is going to get one of the flagship features. Talking about what's best for the consumer here, I just think it would be nice if you're paying $1,000 for an iPhone to get all the latest features. You shouldn't have to pay an extra $100 to get the flagship triple camera setup that is now going to be reserved for the highest end model. That makes no sense. I'm really starting to get fed up with Apple's pricing strategy and how they're reserving certain features for certain models. And now with iOS 13, we're hearing that Apple could cut off support completely for models like the iPhone 6s or the iPhone SE, 1 or 2 years ahead of when they should be doing that. Before we get too fired up at Apple, it's important to remember that none of this has actually happened yet. And I do want to always make that very clear. Like, we shouldn't get mad at Apple right now because these are just rumors and leaks and they could be wrong or inaccurate. Now, there is a section here, and I always find it comical that people think they're going to be able to predict the iPhone pricing, because there's only been one source that I have ever seen that successfully predicted iPhone pricing, and that was the New York Times with the iPhone 10. They called it first that it was going to be $999 or more at launch. This site claims that the 2019 iPhones are going to be the exact same cost as the 2018 iPhones. And at this point, I'm not actually sure if that's good or bad news, because while I want them to be cheaper, but I also don't want them to get any more expensive, so this could be a good thing. But just to throw this information out there, we'll see if it sticks. They say the 10R version 2 is going to start at $749, the 11 is going to start at $999, and the 11 Max is going to start at $1,099. Whether or not that's true, again, we have no idea. Moving on from that report, a couple weeks back, something that I totally glossed over but I think is important to share with all of you is a new report from the Wall Street Journal, not about the 2019 iPhones, but about the next year's iPhone, so 2020. We've heard things from Bloomberg about these already. They're going to feature some crazy laser scanner cameras that can more accurately map objects far away from the rear lens. Like, they use dot projection on the Face ID camera to like measure and map your face, but that's not good at long distances apparently, so they're switching to some laser scanner setup, and it's going to be able to map an object in front of you, or be able to more accurately place something in augmented reality in front of your phone. So that stuff sounds cool. What is even cooler than that for me is the screen tech that is going to be coming to the 2020 iPhones. We know right now for 2019, 2 are going to be OLED, 1 is going to be LCD. Guess what the report's about? Apparently in 2020, finally, all 3 models will be going OLED. I don't know how well this translates on camera just because of color correction and YouTube compression, but to me, I can clearly tell when looking at the iPhone XS and XR side by side that the colors on the XS are so much better. So you should be seeing this across the board for all the 2020 iPhones, and I'm really looking forward to that because OLED and the black levels as well, the fact that the notch is completely hidden here, looks so good to me, and it's definitely a technology that I hope Apple continues to use. All right, that's currently everything we know about the 2020 iPhones. Now the part we've all been waiting for it. I know you guys have been doing that 20-minute drum roll on your lap this whole video. 2019 emojis. But Emojipedia has been making these sample images for years now, and they always get super, super close to how they look when Apple actually brings them to iOS or macOS. So let's jump in to this year's list. A big focus, a massive focus actually, that you're going to notice is accessibility emojis. These were noticeably lacking from the iPhone. If you had an accessibility challenge or issue that you dealt with, like maybe hard of hearing, hard of seeing, I guess someone who's visually impaired is what I should say. Or if you were a person with a physical disability, there was really no way to share that experience with other people if you used an iPhone and somebody else did. So Apple's bringing a lot of these to your iPhone or iPad or Mac with iOS 13. Aside from that though, there are a ton of other really neat emojis as well. This one up here, yawn emoji. I should scoot over so I can actually put it right here. You know, you get a little bit tired, somebody's throwing some straight BS at you, and you're just gonna hit them with that. Next up, if you ever wondered where the legs on some of the emojis went, they are coming back with iOS 13. Here's person kneeling. I'm gonna throw this out here now. I'm gonna throw it out here. Feel like this one's gonna be taken advantage of in kind of a obscene way. Just throwing that out there. Next up, holding somebody's hand in emoji form is also coming. But of course, where things get the most out of control is with the new animals coming. I don't know if you guys, I don't know if I can speak, but I also don't know if you guys have been paying attention to the latest emoji hotline bling here. First up, you got orangutan just chilling here, being the orangutan that he/she is. You have a guide dog right here. This one I always say is sloth, or no, it is sloth right here. Otter's pretty cool. I'm not a huge otter fan myself. Gonna just toss it out into the world, but this one's kind of starting to win me over with those little beady eyes. You've got skunk right here. If somebody's just stinking in their conversation, you could sauce that emoji their way. Flamingo, of course, standing on one leg here. You've got garlic and onion. If somebody's making you cry, maybe you could spam onion emoji. I mean, this is all free advice for you guys. This is unsolicited free advice. Waffle emoji is next. I didn't actually know this one was coming until right now. I actually recorded another take where I went through every single emoji, but it took a super long time. So a quick TLDR here, a couple of other ones that I found really interesting. They have an ice cube now. Gotta get that butter emoji. Of course, there's a rickshaw, there's a parachute, some new articles of clothing like whitey tidies right here, and then some different circles and squares as well. That's where I'm gonna round out this video. If you're excited for the 2019-2020 iPhones again, drop a like. If you like any of the new emojis, drop a like down below and hit subscribe so you stay up to date on the latest iOS news. Thank you so much for watching. As always, I've been Sam. I hope all of you are doing well, and I'll catch you guys in the next Apple News update.